All right, y'all. I'm back with another video, and today I got a family right here. I'm gonna have him introduce himself and what he does.
So my name is Chad Bland. I own a company, two companies. I own a company called Finishing Glow Auto Detail, 13 years in business. And I also own a company called It's a Wrap. And we started that one back in 2022. Finishing Glow, of course, auto detail is detailing. We're full service. So anything from color correcting to carpet coloring to interior detail to exterior ceramic coating. It's a Wrap is we do wide format printing, so anything from poster size prints and up, so banners, storefront advertisement that goes on the front doors of the glass. We also do like food truck type of advertisements, decaling, all the way to just color change. Like if you just want more of a funkier just look, just like if you're changing the color of your car, basically. So
Yeah. So that's cool. Y'all go check him out. So like before we like get into like the business side of your things, so how was like your childhood coming up on like where you're from and everything, and like past struggles?
So I'm from Montbello. We moved around a lot. I want to say from the age of maybe 3 until maybe 18. We probably lived in like 10 or 11 different places. Majority of those would have been in Montbello, but I've moved from like the east side of Denver to Montbello to Park Hill. I mean, we were just kind of all over in between those ages of life. Those struggles come with a lot, right? Lights out all the way to the water off, all the way to times where there's not very much food in the fridge. Then you don't think about it much because a lot of the people surrounding you are kind of going through a lot of the same struggles. So it's normal or natural, I guess, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, at points you do think about it,
Yeah.
but
But then it happens so regularly, it's like it's normal.
yeah, in our community back then, it was, we knew children. I have friends that were doing good, right? Or at least you think they are. But I'm still blessed. It could have been worse.
Yeah. So like, what sacrifices did you have to make in order to build a successful business?
Sacrifice. So a lot of hours, right? A lot of sweat, a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. I believe that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Every year comes with it. Every phase, I'll call it, comes with its own struggles. Those first couple years, it just, more financial pieces that you're trying to get under wraps.
Yeah.
Not having very much cash flow to go around in order to keep things going in the correct direction. You're trying to afford chemical. I mean, you're trying to keep business coming in the door. Every single one of these you're worried about month to month.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into being an entrepreneur.
Managing like the people, managing your cash flow, like you said, because I know cash flow is pretty important in a business.
One of the most important things for sure.
Yeah, but it's all a learning lesson. You can learn how to pivot and grow from it and be like, okay, this was a challenge. Now, how do I fix this solution and grow from it and learn from it? So
Yeah, I mean, like I say, every phase comes with its different
yeah.
ups and downs. We've been through a lot. A lot of the lessons, you learn, but then a lot of them, they do come back around,
Yeah.
right? But all in all, you learn. And by that being something that maybe you've learned in the past, it makes it a little less strenuous, if you have to face those certain situations all over again.
What's your biggest advice for running a successful business, and what should people avoid?
Money management, right? Definitely want to be able to do that and do that well. Once your business starts making money, having a plan, right? And that's the whole way, even prior to getting started. Always having an A to Z plan, not an A to F or an A to S, an A to Y. No. You want to have an A to Z, right? Something that you can refer to every step of the way.
Okay.
You also, within doing that, you want to be managing the money correctly, right? I make budgets out sometime weekly, depending on what's happening and what direction I'm going. There's been times I've even redid my budget every few days, right? But I'm doing a new budget every 30 days for sure. I think that's key, right?
Yeah.
That helps you stay on track. That helps you see more watch the cash flow closely.
Managing like every dollar that comes in and every dollar that comes out.
Right. Yep.
I think even personally, like you could take that type of business skill and just put it outside of like into your personal life. Like every day, check your bank account, all your bank accounts. See where your money's going. Writing down a financial budget. Knowing what you're doing with your money. Investing it or just knowing every dollar that comes in and out.
I mean, that's for sure. Like you said, no matter what position of life you're in, if you own a business or if you're, just doing it for yourself, but definitely in business, I look at the bank account daily. Daily. I even take screenshots of the bank account daily, just so I can make sure where I'm at 8 a.m., right, versus 8 a.m. tomorrow. So that helps me keep track of money that may have come out that I may have forgotten about, or I might have spent $25 at the grocery store buying some glass cleaner or something. Sometimes there's small things that you may not have kept track of within a day's of operation. At the level in which my company is at now, we have multiple sites, and I have multiple people that have access, or not access, but business cards. So they may have an emergency and went out and bought some towels, or who knows, right? So I'm also looking at that account because I'm not the only one in it, and I'm looking and making sure that everything is everything when it comes to the financial piece, right?
Yeah.
And within that account, and I guess I shouldn't say it like that, within me looking at the business accounts, there's like 4 of them, and they all kind of do multiple different things. So getting, a bookkeeper and stuff like that, for me, it makes me keep a closer eye. Not that I don't trust people, but you just want, I want to make sure everything is everything.
That makes sense. So like what financial mistakes have you made?
So to go with the last question, right? I watch, having a plan, right, prevents you from actually making mistakes with the finance pieces of the company. As you grow, your lifestyle should not be growing as well at the same time, right? I think that's going to be key for anybody coming through and trying to, make something of the company. There's been points throughout my 13 years where my lifestyle has done that right along with the success of the company.
Yeah.
Right? But one thing I've learned in my later years of owning the company, I try and keep everything still the same. Maybe the last 5 years or so, I've tried to make sure, okay, these are mistakes I've made in the past. I'm not going to go out and up the house or up my vehicle, or I try and stay pretty consistent, and I try and only make moves that are going to actually financially put the company and myself into better positions.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying never, but it should be within reason of the direction you're heading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you stay competitive and relevant against other businesses in this same industry?
Just being consistent.
Consistency.
Yep.
Okay.
It's crazy because that will go super far, right? Just being consistent, doing staying consistent with the operations end, right? And the operations end, right, that changes, a lot over time, right? Because you're seeing things you can do better, you're learning more, or different tactics. Maybe your customer is requesting different things. Maybe your line of customers change, right? So that piece will change, but being consistent within all this will definitely help a lot. I can't tell you how many shops I know that have come and gone in my 13 years, right?
Really?
Like a gang. But then, having the know-how. I had a really, really good family member, but she was my aunt. She was my mentor, right? And the major key pieces to this, I learned from her. But then she was kind of on my back about making sure I stayed on top of all the key pieces that's what was going to give me longevity within my round of my company. So to me, that's number one. Number two, I would say making the necessary changes at the time where it's time to make necessary changes. Right? I'm a person that I don't like change much. Right? And there's been times within my past where I won't make the change when I know it's time, and I've paid the price for that. But as you grow, right, you learn. So definitely, when it's time to make a change, don't be afraid to do so. And just whatever your A to Z plan is, there are pieces of that will change along the way, but there are pieces I feel like shouldn't and won't, right?
Okay.
So
knowing kind of when to adapt or make that change.
Exactly.
Consistent.
Our motto in the beginning, which I felt like was key to my survival, we came in and we sublet, right, space, but how we did that was we just gave the either the owner of the property or the business that may have occupied the front half of the building or whatnot, percentage of what we made. So months we did great, they did great. Months we did poor, we were still able to manage the money better that way.
Okay.
Versus coming in and having a straight rent or a mortgage. Now there's many ways of doing this. That was just key to the survival of how, my company was operating then. And as we did better, right, we slowly got into doing our own lease on commercial properties until date, right? The model and changed just a few years ago. We did away with doing used car only dealerships, and now we just focus on new car dealerships. Now, of course, used cars still come with that, but we're back into a round where our very first model is now back in play.
Okay.
We come into the buildings, to the dealerships, and they supply, us with the space, electricity, the water, and then the price just reflects that while we're there and getting paid for the work that we do. So, like I said, the A through Z, I feel like is very important when it comes to a person and how they're operating and how far they're going to go within their career. You don't want to be winging it. All right, done that too, made those mistakes. So you want to know what you're up to for sure, man.
Okay. What is like your next major goal and like that you want to accomplish, but it could be like something short term or long term, you know. It could
So,
even be personal or anything.
so right now, as far as the company is concerned, my next goal. Well, I guess I can't say the company, just business, right? So I've come so far in business that right now the goal is to start putting pieces to the puzzle together that will actually help us with like supplemental income,
Okay.
you know. So that may come in the form of other companies, right?
Merging with another company?
No, just maybe starting other companies.
Oh,
So
okay,
smaller
okay.
ones that will be more one-man operations.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
will still bring in, you know, some decent cash.
Okay.
Or you know, I'm not against going into business with someone who's has endeavors of their own. You know, as long as the plan makes sense, right? Because I feel like that's my ultimate mission is to just pay it forward. So in my personal life, just continuing to be a good person, right?
Yeah.
And continuing to be a person and a hand, you know, for people to turn to or lean on. You know, I mean, because I know what it is to be in the struggle, right? I feel like I've been in that struggle my whole life, right? As we spoke in the beginning of this interview, just, you know, coming from all the things and the trials and tribulations that I had to face as a child and then as a teenager and then as a young adult to date. So that's my mission in life is just to pay it forward.
Okay. I like that, man. If you had like any last advice that you can give somebody my age, like what would you say?
So I would say,
All right, my bad, y'all. My phone overheated, but so back to the question. If you can give like any last advice to us younger people, you know, what would you say?
so I would say stay ready, right? So you don't have to get ready.
All right.
And like we were saying while the camera had went down, that goes all the way from the smallest things in life to the most monumental things in life, right? As small as just keeping car insurance, right? Staying ready. I keep my insurance on my car so I don't have to get ready if I ever have a fender bender,
Right.
right? And all the grief and headache that can cause by not having it. You know, all the way to the greater things in life, right? If you're a business owner or, you know, if you work a 9 to 5, right? Keeping the right necessities in the crib, you know, making sure, you know, your vehicles, I mean, keep some great tires on there, right? I see so many people put these things off to the side thinking that there are, you know, more important things to handle. But if you stay on top of them like this, you'll never find yourself, you know, buried in a to-do list like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see so many young folks, as well as myself, right, just go with the flow of life. You know, all in all, that just doesn't make very much sense. Hold on, I'm so sorry.
Are you sure, brother?
Yeah, so all in all, that just doesn't make very much sense,
Yeah.
right? And I'm preaching to the choir because I was that same young person, you know, and still today, you know, I go through the learning lessons of trying to make sure that what I'm up to still reflects well with, you know, my mission in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what I was saying, like off of camera, I was saying, you know, proper preparation prevents poor performance, you know, so just staying prepared, like what he was saying, staying prepared and just staying on top of things, like don't procrastinate and put things off to the side, but all right, I'll do that later. When you know you have the time to do it too, especially.
Exactly.
You know?
You know, and it's funny because I want to say I say this once a week, sometimes more. Basically kind of what you just said. I have so many employees that here and there, right, will mention to me things about their personal life or even about work-related things that, oh, I'll just do it later, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like in every black household, we all heard our mothers or fathers say, why put off something you can do today
Yeah.
for tomorrow?
Because that's time you can't get back.
Yeah, and it's crazy the things I'll see people put off, right? Like I said, employee-wise, I've had we have inside of the dealers, we have a board, right? And on this board, it has make, model, what the car is coming back for service for, the time it comes in, the time it leaves out, and then who's dropping the car off. Mm-hmm. We'll get a car on the board, let's say 10:30 in the morning, but it says it doesn't need to be delivered until 4, right? I'll walk by that board and I'll have employees, which drives me crazy. At times, yes, they might be taking a 5-minute break because it might be that long before the next vehicle shows up.
Yeah.
But I'll come to that board, they won't have anything to do. And I'll tell them, well, what about this one? Oh, well, that ain't due till 4 o'clock. It's only 11. Like, why not do it now? What if at 4 o'clock you're slammed?
Yeah. Just
right?
knock it out the way.
Yeah. Or like we were wrapping a vehicle, and this one cracked me up. And one of my employees that was doing the body work, he was doing the sanding, right? He was sanding, and there was some glue that was on the car. He didn't want to, he said he didn't want the glue to get in his sandpaper. This is a 1099, though, a W-9 employee. So I said, well, I have some, we can use mine, use my sandpaper. He wanted to wait till tomorrow, and it's an area about 2 inches and wide and about maybe 15 inches across. So not a very big area. He wanted to remove the glue, and he said, I'll just bring some lacquer thinner tomorrow and remove it. But it cracked me up, like, you're gonna wait all the way till tomorrow to do like a 45-second job?
Yeah,
like that just
make no sense.
Cracked me up. But that's something we can also apply to our life, right? Why am I gonna put off something that might take me 5, 10 minutes, 30 minutes? And it doesn't matter how long. And I might have 7 hours still in today, and what needs to be done might only take an hour. Like, just get it over and done with, right? And
knock it out the way.
That builds just good character all the way around.
Facts.
All the way around. And the faster I feel like we get to being to our character, the faster we can get to character building, the greater off in life you're going to be, man. Hands down.
Setting next, getting things done every day. Just 1% better, at least 1% better each day, to be a better person, a better individual, a better business owner or something. And then creating next goals to accomplish, that's how you grow and elevate and prosper,
For sure.
So.
For sure. I mean, to go with, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's the faster you can just buckle down as a young man and get your priorities straight and start succeeding at life, the faster you're gonna get to enjoying life. I mean, me and everyone I ran with back in my 20s, the number one priority for real, I mean, there was many, but it seemed like at times the number one priority was having fun. And I still have nieces and nephews and children that it seems like that's still the number one priority. Had a person been able to sacrifice that then, for now, man, I'd be somewhere chilling right now.
Yeah.
Right? And seeing to myself that, what am I missing? Like, what am I really missing out on? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I think, all in all, just having greater focus, right? And being able to just make those personal decisions for yourself and leading with those personal decisions, right?
Yeah.
Consciously making the decisions to do better and move accordingly. Getting rid of this whole attitude of, I call it going with the flow.
I want to say this in my video though, because we were talking off camera after my phone overheated, but I was saying, yeah, I appreciate you for being in my video, you know.
Yeah, I think this is dope, you know, kind of what you got going on, and also, you know, your endeavors in life. You know what I mean? You got a great head on your shoulders.
Appreciate you.
You know?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I said like my goal is to like make this world a better place. The way I came into this world, I want to leave this world a better place when I leave, you know, build generational wealth and just leave a better impact on the people's lives, you know. That's my goal. I feel like that's my purpose, honestly.
Well, and we all have one, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the Lord has given all of us a mission.
Fact.
Some people, it's to bring people to Him. Some people, it's, you know, there's many missions that we can have in life.
Yeah.
My mission is the same. I feel the same way you feel. My mission is to pay it forward, right? My mission is to make sure His people don't go without. If there's anything that I can do just about to help a person, I'll just about do it, you know, and it's been even times I can't, which sounds crazy, I'm sure, to a lot of people, but that's just what's been instilled in my heart. And I think that comes from, you know, so much, coming from such a long ways, right? For sure, I had no clue that my life would head this direction, right? Because I was, like I said, I was one of those people that just went with the flow. I was one of those people who I never really gave too much insight on who I was going to be or where I was going. I just knew I wanted to be a good person, right? And you know, I'm sure at times fall short of that, but the ultimate goal is to, you know, hold my head up high, and to give back, right? To pay it forward.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's not a bad mission, because I'm on the same mission myself. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate you for being on my channel, you know. Thank you again.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
Already.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video though. And we're going.